You're listening to the Last Man In podcast. Covering Winnipeg hockey and the NHL.
Scheifele dances his way in. Scheifele scores! Mike Wheeler finds the far corner. And the Winnipeg Jets win it in overtime.
Woo, woo, woo.
Last Minute episode 127 with Greg, Cam, and our special friend, Matt.
Special friend, Matt. Not friend of the show, special.
No, special friend. Well, he's a Jets fan. He's special.
Yeah, special friend.
Yeah, he's correspondent,
Yeah.
you might say.
Dan, he's on a scouting report that we don't even know where.
Yeah, we don't know.
He didn't even tell us where he's going.
He's
this
just
time.
like, scouting report on Tuesday. And we're like, okay.
Got it.
enough.
And he's like, enough questions. And I'm like halfway through John Wick right now, too. So I'm thinking maybe Dan, John Wick.
They are coming out with a second movie.
I know, I saw the
I
commercial.
haven't seen John Wick.
It's pretty
It's
good.
on Netflix, though.
That's what I'm watching it on.
Yeah.
I'm sitting
should
in this
probably
very
watch it.
room watching it on an iPad.
I don't know why you don't watch it on your,
On
computer.
my television?
Yeah.
Well, my computer's like,
Computer.
if I run things on my computer, it's like, I'm like, I'm turning on Google. What are we doing?
I'm just trying. I just turned you on. That's all
I
I did.
opened the startup menu. What do you want? I'm trying to use a calculator. Like, it's so broken.
Mike, see, like, your computer's almost like 10 years old. 10 years old?
I got it in 2010.
Okay, so it's 6 years old.
Oh, yeah.
So mine, I got in 2014, I think. 2014, 2013. And it's already starting to get the fans starting to run more. I'm like,
But
really? The fuck?
You have to factor in, though, like, when I got it, like, when I got mine, it was, like, the top of the line.
Yeah.
Like, correction, that the Source had to offer. Because I had a discount at the Source at the time. And so that's where I went.
Okay.
But either way, like, I mean, it sometimes doesn't help to buy top of the line stuff, but in terms of like computers and stuff, you're going to use it every day. So you may as well get the higher echelon stuff.
Which is why I'm looking at a really nice desktop. But regardless, this is a podcast about hockey. And there were sports that happened.
It was?
That was my first note. 30 seconds off topic already.
Yeah, there you go.
Welcome to a podcast filled with Cam and Greg. This is what happens.
Exactly.
We don't talk about topics. Okay, so we'll talk about news because things happened.
Go.
Between now and last podcast. Jets specifically, there was a key injury to one of the players on the team.
Yep.
And they also played 4 games, so we'll talk about all those. Then the NHL All Star rosters were announced today. We'll talk about those. The crazy outdoor AHL game, the integration of Adidas into the NHL next year, some Oilers bullshit.
Whoa, hey, you can't say that.
I can say that. I can tell a shitty franchise they're being shitty when they're shitty.
Okay.
They're
alright.
shitty.
Okay.
That's what they are.
They're in the playoffs right now.
I've got a rant to go on.
Okay.
I've got a rant to go on.
Rant.
Again, we should have a disclaimer. Oh, wait, he's an Expressor Gregory Patrick. No.
World Junior Hockey Gold Medal game happened, so
Yep.
we'll talk about that. Blue Jacket streak, playoff probabilities, some stuff about Ovechkin, and we'll wrap it all up with midseason NHL awards because we are pretty much at that point right now. So without further ado, let's get started with the Jets stuff. Jets played 2 games in the East,
Yeah.
like in Florida last week, and came out with 2 wins and scoring 10 goals in the process. Obviously, I didn't see these games because the Lightning game, I was actually at the Moose game watching the Marlies play.
The baby Marlies. And how'd the baby Marlies do? How'd the baby
They lost the first game.
Okay.
The guy that I was most impressed with was Frank Corrado, a guy that has been left out of Leafs lineup for the last 2 years basically, and he looked really good. And you can tell the guy is ready, like that. It was his first game in the AHL. They're down by a goal with a minute left, and the coach is just like, "Here you go play the last minute." So it was him and I don't remember who the other defenseman was. I think he was playing with Valiev all game. Regardless, he looked really good, looked solid. Kapanen looked good. Leipzig was good.
Wait. Is Sweet Love still there?
Yeah. Victor
Yeah,
Ruiz.
nice.
Yeah. I wasn't so much impressed with him, but I have fun when I go to Moose games. I have fun watching the Marlies play. They're a fun team. They didn't win the night I went, but they won the following night. So regardless, I think the Marlies are an exciting team. I think the Moose are an exciting team as they continue their And the game I went to, Pavelec played unbelievable. He was making great saves, looked really good. I think he made 35 saves and was the first star. So there's that. So the Jets came out of Florida with 2 straight wins, then went to Buffalo on Saturday, where they had a 3-1 lead and collapsed and lost 4-3. But that wasn't the biggest loss of the game. The biggest loss was Laine getting hit by Jake McCabe, cleanly, mind you, and he is now out, diagnosed with concussion, timetable uncertain. So we've all seen the hit, I assume?
He did.
He what?
He did?
He did.
He did.
I haven't seen
when
a
he
hit
got
that
hit,
big
when
in
he got
forever.
hit, squared up, head wasn't down, right on shoulder to chest, pretty much, from what I've noticed.
Their heads collided.
Their heads
Oh,
collided.
their heads.
That's
did
why
collide.
McCabe has that big kind of scratch or
Oh, I
scar
didn't
there.
see that.
Yeah, he's all
Oh, my bad.
huge
Okay.
black eye.
Well, it was I don't think he intended on knocking him out cold or anything.
No, he wanted to hit him
Yeah.
because Laine got him pretty good earlier in the first
Oh, okay.
period, and then that happened. And
Well, Laine, the moment he got hit, he did he stiffened up and
Yeah.
a football hit, hockey hit. You've seen it, lacrosse hit, anywhere where there's physical contact. It's a type of hit that his body wasn't fluid and his arms weren't flailing when he fell. They went rigid and fell, and that's probably what did most of the damage because his head bounced off the ice,
Yeah.
it bounced off the ice, and that's probably what concussed him. Or before the hit did, maybe I don't know.
Well, 2 heads colliding is painful.
Yeah.
We've all done it at some point
Yep.
in time. It sucks. The biggest thing that I noticed about this hit, and people were claiming that it was dirty, people were claiming that he unintentionally hit him and he was trying to go for the knee. I go deep in Facebook sometimes and people piss me off. But regardless, if you watch the play, what happens is Jake McCabe is anticipating the pass, and he was going to jump the pass, but the pass was actually delivered earlier. What Jake McCabe was just trying to get in between Laine and I think it was Scheifele that passed it to him. I think he was just trying to get in that lane to prevent that pass. Well, that pass was made, so what you see is McCabe stops with his right foot and then moves over to adjust and hits Laine straight on. It's a clean hit. I reffed hockey for a lot of years. Those are the hits that you want to see. Unfortunately, the result sucks because a guy gets hurt, but there was no there was no kind of rough play intended. It was just a solid hit. I thought the Jets responded very poorly by, going and attacking the guy.
you have to do that. You know what? I know it's a clean hit, but your superstar, your 18-year-old franchise player gets hit like that. There's no way you do not do something. You have to. And I know it's wrong because I thought it was a clean hit, and I'm the same way you are. I don't think that anything should have happened, but that is the right thing to do when you're 18-year-olds. You have to show guys that you can't take runs at their best players.
You set a precedence I understand where you're both coming from. I get where Greg's coming from, where it's I didn't like how they went after it, but you have to, when your star players get targeted, or not even targeted, when they get hurt or hit like that, you can't just stand for that. Any of us, even in beer league, when one of your friends just call him a friend. When you see that happen to a friend, you want to stand up for him because you'd expect him to do that for you. So,
that's fair.
And so just bringing it down to even that level, I understand. Yeah, you can't let that. I don't like that side of the NHL. It's stupid. I think it's
Really,
dumb.
Flyers fan? Really?
Yeah.
You're going to take a stand on that, Flyers fan?
Radko Gudas gets targeted all
I don't
the time.
care about Radko Gudas. I just mean your team in the 70s was nicknamed the Broad Street Bullies.
Yeah.
Actually infuriated an entire country's team and made them leave the ice.
Yeah, that's right. They were playing the game. That's what it's called. They weren't bullying people. They were
Broad
playing
Street Bullies.
the game.
You're telling me they didn't bully people?
Yeah, they were individual bullies. They didn't gang up on people. They were just bullies. Apostrophe S.
So there was more than one bully on the team.
There were
That's
more
why
than
they were
one
the
bully,
bullies.
but as a group, they didn't act as bullies. Yes.
English lessons.
Yeah, there you go. No, but I'm just saying, it doesn't nowadays. It doesn't need to be in the game per se. But where Matt's coming from, he's a franchise player. You can't. If you let that go, then. Well, let's just use the Flyers as the example. If you go to visit Philadelphia and they know that you're not going to stick up for anyone, well, guess what? That's like a shark smelling blood in the water.
Hey.
They're going to do that every game.
And I understand where Matt's coming from, and I'm one of those people who berated the Canucks back in 2011 when they just essentially let...
Henrik Sedin.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Daniel, one of the Sedins. The guy got a nice combo. Marchand got a 4-punch combo on his face.
He was
and
ready
the ref's
for...
not clean. I already talked about.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was nobody jumped in. And I think there's... yeah, there's times to jump in and there's times that not. And I guess with the Laine thing, you got to jump in. It's still a clean play, and I think people have to realize that it's a clean play. And those
people don't realize, though. I was listening to the
Yeah, I
radio
know.
afterwards. People were not happy.
Oh, yeah, I was in the car with you. Yeah.
And I can just only imagine if this was Scott Stevens, because he would have not only jumped, targeted the head, and like not cared.
Just a year-long suspension coming.
No, but back in Scott Stevens,
Well, I know,
Yeah.
but if
no
he played,
penalty.
if he played today, there's no way he makes it more than like 3 games without getting a suspension.
You know what? I'll even go, like, I'll do hot takery on this. We have well, in the NHL, there's players like Scott Stevens, like, who play like Scott Stevens nowadays, and they're not in the league. Steve Downey. There's the most present one that I can think of. Steve Downey, almost every hit that he threw, he jumped.
Yeah.
He's
Targeted the
a
head.
smaller dude.
Yeah.
Scott Stevens, I don't know how big he was, but...
Scott Stevens was decently sized.
I think he was like 6'2".
Okay,
He
so
wasn't
for...
huge, he just timed hits perfectly
Yeah.
and knew how to hit.
But, I mean, nowadays...
And it also helped that he was on the same defensive pairing as Scott Niedermayer, where
for
people
the
are
majority
like,
of his career.
am I going to go down Scott Niedermayer's side or test my luck?
Well, I'd much rather go down
And-
Niedermayer's
but
side.
Here's the other thing as well. When players were going down Niedermayer's side, he was so good at angling people off that they would just throw that pass, right?
Yeah.
And then that's how Scott Stevens would just hit people, because Scott Niedermayer was able to force the pass
I wonder
when they
if-
shouldn't have been passed.
I wonder if Scott, like, you know, like how they make like mini bets with well, okay, we don't know they make bets with each other, air quotations, but you know how like guys like Scott Stevens and Scott Niedermayer, I bet you Scott Niedermayer could be like, you know what, or wow, it's so confusing. Anyways,
They're both Scott.
Yeah, okay. He's like, all right, you know what, Stevens, I'll make you a bet. I will buy you a steak dinner tonight in Long Island. We're playing the Islanders. If, when I'm angling a guy off, you literally tell him you're going to hit him before he crosses the blue line, and you still hit him. I'll angle you into him, and so he's just like, I'm going to get you so good. I'm a choo-choo train. He just hit you. Like, I bet you. I wonder if he did that. Like, he probably didn't. I don't know, but that'd be hilarious if he did. But, like, I wonder if stuff like that back in the day happened. Like, you got it. Well, Chris Pronger, like, Chris Versteeg, there was a like a thank you Chris Pronger like tribute video way back in the day, and they were just saying how like dominant Chris Pronger was, and Chris Versteeg was like, yeah, one of the first times he played Chris Pronger, like I chipped it in, I tried to go around him, he hacked my ankle, and I said something to him, he didn't say anything. Second shift, I go out, chip it down the boards, hack me a little harder, and I said like piss off, and he giggled, and he's like, third time I was like, you know what, I'm gonna chip it in, I'm gonna hit him back. And so we chipped it in. He's like, he gave me a whack. So I whacked him back. And Chris Pronger said, if you ever fucking do that again, I'm taking your head off. And he's like, and I never did it again. Something along those lines were like, and he's like, he said it with like such intent. He's like, I still to this day kind of am scared of Chris Pronger. And like, he's saying it jokingly, but like his eyes were like, please God, somebody help me. Like, it's hilarious. So like, I don't know. Stuff like that happens all the time. I don't even know I got on this topic.
We just got there. We'll follow the breadcrumbs back.
What kind of bread is
So
it?
what... Rye.
Perfect.
So with Laine out, what does this mean? Who needs to step up the biggest for the Jets moving forward?
Well, I think he's already on quite a tear, but I would say Nikolai Ehlers is picking up a lot of slack. Fantastic.
He's looked great.
Mark Scheifele's looking great as well. I know he's not scoring as much, but
I think he's injured.
like
I think
playing
he did,
through an injury.
I think that leg injury he had a couple weeks ago.
It's
I think
still
that's
nagging?
still lingering because
Yeah.
he doesn't have that explosive speed like he used to.
Okay, all right. I don't watch.
I
that
watch
many
every
games.
game, so that's just my take on it.
I'm going to say the one guy for me, and he stepped up last night, was Blake Wheeler.
Oh, I was going to say the captain. But that's
If you want to, like, it's an easy out, but when you're missing a guy, you want your best players to perform. And it's, it could be up to guys like Tanev or Patan or Armia to really step up and fill in this void. It's also a chance for Drew Stafford to have that final, like, moment with Winnipeg, because this is his chance right now.
He had his best game I've seen him play since coming back from injury. He looks like it got him like a little pep in his step, and he was like, "Hey, I'm on the top line again." Like, because he wasn't skating before, he looked slow, and all of a sudden he was playing with Scheifele and Ehlers, and and now he looks good again. I don't think it's one player that has to step up because there's no one that's going to fill the void. No one's filling the void of Laine. It has to be a team effort. It has to be Armia stepping up, which she's been just fantastic all year. I love Armia. I come on here every time I come on here. I talk about how great Armia is.
Yeah.
But it's Armia. It's even Patan. Like on the power play, needs to be a bit better because that's what he's there for. He's going to take over for Perreault when Perreault gets snapped up in the expansion draft. Yeah. So he needs to step up and be better on the power play. Yeah. And Scheifele, if he's still got that lingering injury, maybe I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. But he needs to start scoring again because that's paying him big bucks. He needs to produce. But yeah, Ehlers has been fantastic. He is the most dynamic player I have seen.
Is Perreault hurt right now? Or is he playing?
Perreault's playing.
Well, he might be playing through an injury because the game I went to against Columbus a while ago now, he got hurt. He came back, and like after that, like every shift, you could see he was like leaning over and like even like in his stride. But you could see.
My question was I don't know who he's playing. He's not playing center right now, right?
No, he's playing with Little and Wheeler.
Okay. I wasn't sure where
line,
he's
you guess
playing.
you can call it.
But I don't mind him playing there. I was just wondering.
He's not a centerman. He needs to be on the wing. He needs to be on the wing. Probably a second, third line winger.
Okay,
that's what I think.
And there's nothing wrong playing between two guys that have the potential to score 30 goals.
Yeah, exactly.
With Little, who I think he needs to perform a little bit better. I think he's been all right since coming back, but he hasn't been what he was last year before he got hurt last year.
You also got to remember he's going up against the top lines again.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
They're not going to score as much because they're going to be in the defensive zone a bit more. But
they're the defensive responsibility line, whereas the Scheifele line's more like go score. These guys are you got to be a little bit more defensive.
Well, they're going up against the other team's third line because they're putting Lowry up against their second line because their puck possession is just so dominant. It's scary.
Okay, now to move away. Well, the Jets played the Flames last night.
Yep.
They won 2-0, which was Connor Hellebuck's fourth shutout of the year?
Third of the year, fifth of his career.
Fifth of his career. And it was the first time wearing throwbacks in the MTS Center.
I was at that game. It was fantastic.
It was cool.
I got to see a celebrity.
Brock Lesnar was
Lesnar.
there.
I was so excited. I was so excited when you messaged me and like a bunch of people because Dan was at the game and Dan messaged like Greg and our group. He's like, "God, the Brock Lesnar thing!" Like Dan and I love wrestling. Well, I mean, we all like kind of have a kind liking to wrestling, but like Dan has loved wrestling since forever. Yeah, and Dan got me into wrestling.
And you guys have now gotten me into wrestling.
Yeah, but Brock Lesnar of all the people, you could have given me I knew where he lived. I know he lives in just outside Regina, I believe is where he lives, or somewhere in Canada near Winnipeg, kind of. But either way, of all the people, you're like, Cameron, I will give you $100 right now. We have a WWE wrestler tonight. He's on the roster, which means he's usually there. Who is it? Who is that in Winnipeg? Never. You could give me 20 guesses. I would never pick Lesnar. Not ever.
Well, his kids are big into hockey now. Eh? Yeah. That's why they kind of did it. His kids are huge Jets fans, apparently.
Yeah, well, which is and he was like, well, I'm not necessarily a Jets fan, but I mean, through them I am. Yeah, they gave him a jersey. And then he did an interview, and if you watch wrestling, Brock Lesnar
sucks on the mic.
He doesn't, well, no. It's not that he sucks on the mic. They don't trust him on the mic.
Oh, really? Because last time he said, I don't care about your family. To a guy.
I believe I said, and I quote, this is to Heath Slater. Was it Heath Slater? Yeah, the one-man man. He says, I don't give a fuck about your kids.
That's what it was.
That's something. This is on live television.
Yeah. This is when the guy's I need to fight against you because I need to get a roster spot because my kids, man.
I got kids, man. Yeah, and it's a shirt now.
I got kids, too, and I don't give a fuck.
The reason WWE doesn't give Brock Lesnar the mic is because he's too much of a wild card on the mic. So what they did, they gave him the best man with the mic in his hand, Paul Heyman. Exactly. He literally has someone's job, literally, is to talk for Brock Lesnar. That's his job. He's always represented wrestlers, but he only represents the one that, don't have that great mic work or, they don't have that much charisma, and so he kind of, circumvents that. Yeah. He's employed, by him sucking on the mic, someone has a job. That's how bad he is on the mic. But anyways, he did interviews. He was great. He was smiling. He was happy. Didn't swear.
My favorite Brock Lesnar interview is when he fought somebody in the UFC, and he's, sitting there, he's like, I'm going to have myself a Coors Light because Bud Light won't pay me anything, and they were sponsored by Bud Light, and it was oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Legit, he doesn't care.
And he's standing, and I know that match, too. I don't know who he's fighting, but I know that Bud Light was the main sponsor, and he was standing on a Bud Light logo when he said that.
Yep.
So, but anyways, Brock Lesnar, they showed pictures afterwards of him, meeting Buff, and then, they tweeted out, name me a more intimidating duo. We'll wait.
I have never seen Buff look small in my life.
Yeah.
Until he was standing there
Angry
with
dog.
Buff. I mean, Lesnar.
That is an angry dog. I don't know who that is.
Oh, you continue.
Who's this little guy? Anyways, so Brock Lesnar did an interview, and they were asking him like what he thought of the game, what he thought of like the arena, and he tried to pump up the crowd. It's pretty cool. But my favorite part was there was like after the game special where like the players brought him into the locker room. He was meeting the players. Perot, that dirty rat bastard, lured him in, walked around the logo, and Brock Lesnar walked over the logo, and literally like everyone's like you could hear every player, and then like he pointed at Perot, like he walked me right into it. Like, so pretty good. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
All right, now moving on.
Yep.
All-Star games, All-Star rosters were announced today. So 4 captains across the 4 conferences. They are Price, McDavid, Subban, and Crosby.
How's Subban?
What?
Fan vote.
Ridiculous.
What do you mean?
Fan voting is ridiculous. Guy's a -11. How the hell do you get to be an
What do we
All-Star
know
minus
about
one?
minuses?
I hate.
What do we know
I don't
about
care.
minuses? You just
He's
play
always-
a lot. That's not an
No.
important stat.
You're a bad
Find who
player.
you're gonna put instead of
I don't
Subban
think
as
that
a
means
captain.
you're a bad player.
As a captain? Anyone else that got friggin' nominated in that fucking
Okay.
division. Sorry.
Sorry.
It's fine. We have the explicit tag. I've dropped like 4 or 5 F-bombs already. Don't worry
Okay,
about
so here's we'll start with the Central because the Jets play in Central. So we'll start with Central with the number 1 player there, which is Patrik Laine. Then we go to Patrick Kane, Nathan McKinnon, Tyler Seguin, Vladimir Tarasenko, Jonathan Taves, which we'll get to in a second, PK Subban, Duncan Keith, Ryan Suter, Corey Crawford, David Dubnyk.
Taves is another one I wrote down because I don't know how the hell he gets in.
How does Taves get in?
Because he's Jonathan Taves, I guess. Because it's so bad.
Where's Artemi Panarin?
Artemi Panarin.
Who's been the best player
They
on that
can't
team
have
all
him.
season?
Then they owe him
All
another.
season.
Then they owe him another bonus. They can't afford that.
I don't
You
give
know,
a shit.
$6 million
Stan
next year,
Bowman
he's
made a phone
screwed.
call. He's like, guys, don't vote him in. Don't. And they're like, why? He's like, we can't. He's hitting every performance bonus we gave him. First off. Seriously. Yeah. Oh yeah, Laine and. Okay, well, I'll wait till you finish.
No. That's the roster.
Okay, well, Laine in his contract, he had 20 goals, so that's
Yeah.
212, 212, 500,
$212,500.
Perfect. There you go. And he also gets that amount bonus for making the All-Star game.
Yep.
So he's already made just under $500,000.
Yeah, but the Jets have the cap space to do it, so it's not a big deal.
No, I'm just saying
next
that's
year.
good for him.
Plus,
I'm
it's
glad.
next year too, when Pavlik's off the books. So
I think he can
Pavlik,
afford to not.
Stafford.
I think he can afford to not go to IKEA now. It's pretty cool.
yeah, he'll
Good for him, man.
What about
have some money.
who's the replacement if he can't go?
It'll be Mark. I'll say it'll be Mark Scheifele or Blake Wheeler.
Okay,
Not
Mark
Jewish.
Shifley, I think, is still injured, so I don't think he goes.
Can I actually put in
So
my
you'd like
vote
Wheeler.
of who it should be?
It should be Ehlers.
It should be Josh Morrissey as forward. This is an all-star game. Goalies
Actually-
should be forwards.
Yeah.
Defense should be goalies.
As Cam, was that last year?
That
Or
was
the year
2 years
before?
ago.
God, that was.
It's the
For
greatest.
those who don't remember that, I don't know if you even know. About
We were
this
here,
episode.
too.
We were here, and Dan wasn't here, so things got a little weird. So we decided to draft our All-Star team. And the thing was Cam was drafting his goalies as defensemen, his forwards as goalies, and his defensemen as forwards.
Yeah.
And like his team was ridiculous. I'm sure you have it in a notebook somewhere.
Yeah,
which is
probably
hilarious.
somewhere, not this one, but I had, like, my top line center was, like, Marc-Andre Fleury.
It was hilarious. It was so much fun. But regardless,
Who's his actual replacement? Probably Shifley, Wheeler.
Or
Even
Ehlers.
Ehlers would be
Ehlers
so...
is yeah.
I'd like to
All-Star
see Ehlers
game, I would... If I'm doing overall, I'd probably take Shifley because... Okay, his interviews kind of suck, but he can, like, be silly a bit.
He can be fun.
Ehlers...
He was actually really
Ehlers
good
can
at
be
the
fun.
the All-Star
Yeah.
or our
Yeah,
All-Star thing.
no, I would
or
say because Wheeler, too cookie cutter. He's great on the mic, too cookie cutter everywhere. Too cookie cutter.
I think-
Ehlers, there's going to be a translation thing, but that could be fun. But Ehlers would be the most creative. at an
Ehlers has
All-Star
more
game.
points than Wheeler. I'd take
And
Ehlers.
the other thing about Ehlers as
skilled.
well is, I think having a little bit of accent would give him a little bit of flair. But I think that who the captain should have been in the Central Division is Vladimir Tarasenko.
Oh, for sure.
I think if there was a guy, you give it to Tarasenko.
Wait, who's the captain again?
It's Subban for the Predators. So only 3 teams have one representative, or 4 teams have one representative. That's the Preds, Jets, Avalanche, and Stars, which means the Wild have 2. The Blues also only have 1. So the Blackhawks consist of 4, which makes no sense, if you're asking me. I think there's players better than Jonathan Taves.
Who's a better goalie than Crawford? How about let's start at the easy one? Who's like, as in like, there's only 2 goalies, so Dubnyk got 1 clearly. What would you?
Okay, which goalie do you want me to name in the NHL that's better?
No, in Central.
Central. Okay, every single goalie.
No.
I would take
maybe not
Crawford
Hellebuyck.
over both Jets goalies.
Okay, Rene, I think is
I
better.
would
Yeah.
take him over Rene this year. Rene has not been playing good.
Regardless, I don't think Corey Crawford's an all-star.
But then no. If
He's
you
the
start
reason
going down
they
the
were
list,
good
okay.
for half the year.
Oh no, he's not. They're not. He's not that strong of a
Their
goalie.
team was not playing well at the beginning of the
Doesn't
year.
matter. He's not that good of a goalie.
So he's not a good goalie because
I
their
don't-
team's good, but when they're playing bad, he's still not good, even though they're still winning games. Explain that one to me, Greg.
He wasn't even that good.
He was
No,
the
but, like,
reason
how-
they were winning games.
No, he
Yes,
wasn't.
he was. Their team isn't good. Well, they
Okay,
are good, but they
well-
weren't playing good for half the year.
Hold on. So okay, we have who's the goalies again? Dubnyk and Crawford. We'll go to the Jets. Hellebuyck or Hutchinson.
No,
Okay, and then we're going to Nashville. You have Pecorine and
I think Rene is better.
and who? Who's the back?
No, who cares about backups?
Fine, Rene.
Backups don't matter.
Okay, Colorado, Varlamov.
No,
No. He's
Okay.
awful.
Jake Allen maybe. I would say Jake Allen's a good decision.
Okay, out of Crawford or Allen, I'd probably do a coin flip.
Yeah,
Because I
exactly.
probably wouldn't take Hellebuyck.
But why are you taking 4 players from the same team?
That's what
Because-
I'm getting at.
Well, that's why
Why?
James doesn't
Like-
need to be there.
And Taves doesn't need to be there. Neither. Like, I think you could probably find better defensemen this year than Duncan Keith.
Yeah,
Well, it's
definitely.
Hard. It's hard to
Pietrangelo,
Petrangelo.
Roman Yossi.
Oh, Yossi would be
I like
fantastic.
Yossi. I do like Yossi. But Nashville hasn't been playing that well this year, and they're.
I understand.
The Blackhawks are at the top of the league, and
I know.
they want to showcase the best players from the
Yeah.
top of each division.
Okay,
Fair
next
enough.
next division in the West.
Pacific. So
Pacific.
you got Connor McDavid as captain. Then you got Jeff Carter, Johnny Gaudreau, Bo Horvat, Ryan Kessler, Joe Pavelski, Brent Burns, Drew Doughty, Cam Fowler, Martin Jones, and Mike Smith.
Arguably the weakest team, I would say.
Probably because the Canucks don't really have anybody.
No, the
That
Atlantic's
flashy.
good too. Just wait.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it.
Pacific does, the thing about the Canucks is they don't really have anyone that strong. Neither do the Ducks.
How is Ryan Kessler leading their team in points?
Could be. I don't know.
Had to be. Have to be.
I haven't looked at.
How does
But
Ryan
also the
Kessler,
Ducks
Ryan Kessler's not
he's
a
like
guy you
their
send
guy.
to an
I
All-Star
know.
game.
I agree. No one likes him.
You send Perry or Getzlaff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one likes Perry either.
Yeah.
Kind of shocked for the D
No
that
Oliver
they sent
Ekman
Cam
Larson.
Fowler over the statistical god.
Really, not really any surprises though. Like Connor
No.
McDavid deserves there. Jeff Carter deserves to be
Jeff
there.
Carter was the only player playing good for LA.
I
For
think
Yeah,
Cam Talbot
exactly.
deserves
I agree with you.
There's no
Cam
way.
Talbot could have been okay.
I think, but
But no, Jeff Carter
go-
clearly.
Yeah.
Who? Oh well, and then Johnny Gaudreau.
You're keeping
deserves that.
Doughty there because he's a great character to have in
Yeah.
an All-Star game.
Same with
It's like
Brent-
having
same
Burns.
with
Yeah, no,
Burns.
and same for that. So I get maybe
And the
we're
kind-
gonna
like-
learn something about Kessler that he's a
Who are the
great
two
guy.
goalies again?
Jones and Smith.
Mike Smith from Arizona.
I know.
Now you're making a grimace.
Okay, who else do you pick from Arizona?
Oliver Ekman Larson.
Yeah, and then you take out Cam Fowler. I would say the same
For
thing.
sure.
And then you put
Oh wow, I didn't think
Yeah.
of that.
yeah, you put Oliver Ekman Larson in for Cam Fowler.
Smith has been
And then
terrible.
I agree. Who's your goalie? Who's your other goalie?
What are the teams in there again?
So
So
you
the West,
probably
farthest
you're
west you
probably
can go.
thinking Quick or Talbot would be the most logical.
Well, Talbot or who's
Quick.
no? What's the
Ryan Miller?
California teams?
California, LA, or you could put John Gibson, who
Gibson.
hasn't been that good.
Gibson hasn't been terrible.
No, I wouldn't say he's been great.
That was
He hasn't been
toughest
great, but
decision.
he's been better than fucking Mike
I don't
Smith.
like-
and-
This is true.
Who makes these
Probably
official
Talbot then.
decisions?
I don't know.
it's voted on for the captains and
Yeah.
like
The NHL makes this.
NHL,
I
NHLPA.
guess, yeah. All right, so now what? Division?
We'll move to the Atlantic,
Okay,
which is captained by Carey Price, the goalie.
I don't think it makes sense.
he's
No.
also allowed to punch people in this game. And
Yeah, with the blocker, with no penalties.
It's only if he hits him in the head. And
Nikita
he hits his head the
Kucherov,
first time.
Brad Marchand, Austin Matthews, Franz Nielsen, Kyle Okposo, Vincent Trocheck, Victor Hetman, Eric Carlson, Shea Weber, Carey Price, and Tuukka Rask.
Okay, I'm okay with the goalies because clearly,
Arguably, the
although Bobby
worst
Labango
team,
would be
just because it's not like there's not a lot of good forwards
Yeah.
there. Like
I
you have
agree.
Hold on,
Marchand's
no.
a
Watch these
decent
guys pull
30
out the win because all of these guys are what though? Like if you look at every one of these guys, for them apart from Shea Weber and Hedman, very fast and mobile.
But okay,
And in a
Well,
3-on-3
Hedman's still
tournament,
fast.
these guys are gonna crush.
here's the thing. What I'll say is, Lightning. It could be easily Stamkos instead of Kucherov. Marchand.
I'm okay with Kucherov.
And so am I. I'm just saying what this team could be.
Stamkos is still injured.
No,
Okay, I thought you were.
I'm not saying
Sorry.
who it should be. I'm saying
Oh, it could be.
who it could be. You could have Stamkos there. You could have, I think Marchand's a good pick. Matthews has been playing great for the Leafs. Then for Detroit, you could have Dylan Larkin. Jack Eichel missed part of the season because of injury. He could potentially be there. And then in Florida, you're missing guys like Barkov, Huberdeau, and pretty much their skilled players or higher skilled players.
I don't know why you
Vincent
wouldn't
Trocheck.
put Barkov. Is he
He's
injured?
hurt. Yeah. As for defensemen, I think they have the strongest defensive core
Yeah.
of the teams we've read so
Yeah,
far.
I would say they have the strongest goalie and D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is, both Carey Price and Tuukka Rask have been playing unbelievable this year. So the only pick I'm actually upset about is Franz Nielsen. I wish that was Dylan Larkin, but
Or
I
Anthony
guess
Mantha.
or Anthony Mantha, who's played great. But
Yeah, no. Okay, I'll wait till you go to the next team to chime in here.
nothing
This is weird.
Nothing else to say.
Franz Nielsen.
Well, who else does Detroit really have though?
I would have put Larkin or Mantha.
So would I. Yeah.
Like, I don't know why you... All right. Kyle Oposo, I don't know. I would have put Eichel, but he's been injured, so yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Well.
Could have put O'Reilly too.
O'Reilly.
Yep. That's what I was going to say.
Really
In the
interesting
breakaway
division.
relay, if Tuukka gets scored on, is he going to turn around and smash his stick?
Probably.
Yeah.
Throw some pucks full of milk or milk cartons
Crates.
full of...
Okay. And this is the number one overall pick team.
This is gross.
Okay, their entire forward line minus one person were picked first overall, or except for two people. Sorry,
Because Malcolm was second.
but yeah. So you got Sidney
Oh, God
Crosby,
forbid.
who captains the team. Then you got Taylor Hall, Evgeny Malkin, Alex Ovechkin, John Tavares, and Wayne Train Simmons.
And he is the... Simmons is the only... I don't even think he was drafted in the first round. He's the only guy not the first round that drafted, to my knowledge. Like, LA drafted him.
And then you have the All-Star himself, Justin Falk.
Where he was... we discovered him here.
Then you have Seth Jones, Ryan McDonough, Sergei Bobrovsky.
He's on the case.
He's on the case. And then Braden Holtby.
And you have good goaltending.
You have good goaltending there. You have...
Defense are all right. Like they're
Kind
not
of
bad. They're not bad defensive.
Kind of
Like, they're good
disappointed they
mobility.
didn't take...
What hand is
Werenski.
McDonough?
Donna's.
He's a righty.
He's righty. Yeah.
So they have three right-handed defensemen.
No, maybe. No, I'm
Who are
saying
the other
maybe McDonough's right-handed. Don't.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure you're right. He's right-handed.
I think he plays lefty, but he's right-handed.
He's right-handed.
I think he's right-handed.
Ah.
Regardless, I think they have three
That
right-handed
really
defensemen.
sucks that they have all three right-handed
Who's the other one other than
defensemen because they
Seth
have
Jones.
Crosby
Yeah, all
on the
right-handed.
ice.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
guess their
How many
Crosby's
lefties
out
do they
there.
have? The one forward.
4 lefties, 2 righties.
Yeah. So well, evens out.
But yeah, the fact that you have Taylor Hall, Malkin, Crosby, Tavares, and Ovechkin. The fact that one line
The
could be...
downfall of your team, literally, like the weak point on your team is Wayne Simmons.
Who's
I'm
having a
sure he
career
loves
year.
it, so
Yeah.
he doesn't care.
So
Yeah.
here's your possible
Line combination.
line combination: Crosby, Malkin, Tavares. Crosby, Malkin, Ovechkin. Crosby, Ovechkin, Tavares.
Are they not doing 3-on-3 again this year?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Crosby, Malkin, Seth Jones.
it's going to be
And then
Crosby, Malkin,
yeah.
Hall,
Yeah.
and then Obi, Simmons, Tavares.
No, it's not 3-on-3.
Who's what?
I made the
Kinda
same
include
mistake.
defensemen.
Oh,
guys.
right. Okay, fine. It's going
And
to be
Crosby and Malcolm won't be playing together because they're centers.
Cros-
There's only 3 centers.
Mal-
now.
So it'll be Crosby and Hall, Malkin and Ovi, Simmons and Tavares.
That's exactly what I said too.
God. The only thing I would change about this, like nothing against Seth Jones, I want Werenski there. I want
I
more
want
young
Renski
kids
there. Yeah.
No, I think it'll show how fast Seth Jones is because apparently when they were talking about it at Team North America, like when they had all that speed there, Seth Jones was the fastest guy apparently. That was what people were saying. So I want to see how fast he actually is because apparently he's
Oh
faster.
yeah,
than
right.
everyone.
We have skill
Apparently
comp
he's
now.
faster than like.
Can there be a
McDavid.
goalie skate race too, please? Those are funny.
Those would be hilarious.
Didn't they do that last year?
Probably.
So are any of us shocked that Matthews and Laine are on the All-Star teams for their
Not
respective
Not even
divisions?
a little bit.
Not a bit.
Not even a
Would
little
you
bit.
Both
predicted at the
clear
start of the
leaders
year?
on their team.
Would you have predicted
I
at the
wouldn't have
beginning of the
predicted Laine, but that's just being biased.
I actually wouldn't predict Laine either because I thought it was going to take him more time to adjust to the NHL game, which he still is doing. Which
I
is
didn't
scary.
realize that hat tricks don't come around too often because who was it? Braden Shen got his second career hat trick like 3 weeks ago, and I was like, second? What? I'm like, Laine, does he have 2, right?
He's got 2.
I'm like, oh, he had 2 in the first month.
Once
This guy.
against one against Dallas and what was the other one against? Was it Dallas again? That'd be funny, actually.
No, it was Dallas and Toronto.
In Toronto. Oh,
Right.
Overtime.
Oh,
After
that
Matthews
game.
got denied on a breakaway.
That's obviously how it has to happen. There's no other way. As a Leaf fan, you're just told that it's just going to be a shitty ride. It's like, here's our number one pick going in, robbed. Other way, their first round pick in the same draft, and he
Second
scores.
overall.
Oh, actually, speaking of that,
Wasn't that? And that was right when Toronto fans started clamoring that they should have taken Laine, which I don't believe at all. But
so
I'm still mad about
this
that.
is only the third time in NHL history that 2 rookies drafted 1 and 2 overall have been selected to play in the All Star Game. You'll each get a guess. There's 2 other duos who have done it. If you can
Okay.
name one of them, we'll be impressed. Who's one, or if you can name both, go ahead. But you're naming drafted 1 and 2. It's only happened 2 other times ever.
And
I'll give you the years.
their first year, right?
First
together.
year,
They were
yep.
both playing together.
80
Lindros and Forsberg.
Okay, here's the year: 84, 85, or 70 and 71, 84, 85.
Oh, so it wasn't even Lindros.
One of them's a current GM of the 4 players you can name,
Eiserman.
and one of them's a team owner. That's another one. But that's all I'm giving you.
So you got Lemieux and Yzerman.
Okay, so you're half right, Greg. You can go ahead.
I have
You
no
can
idea.
steal the point.
I have no idea.
Okay, so Lemieux and Kirk Muller in 84, 85.
Oh.
Gilbert Perreault and Dale Talon in 70, 71.
Okay.
And here's their breakdowns of Matthews, 39 games played, 21 goals, 14 assists, 35 points. Laine, 42 games played, 20 goals, 16 assists, 37 points. Oh, mama.
Future looks bright for both of them, and that's all I'm happy
Future
for. People can
is-
stop comparing now. Let's just let them have fun and
Let's just
all
enjoy
enjoy
it.
it.
They are
Exactly.
so
Just
good.
You know what I
enjoy it.
watched too? Like, just speaking of Netflix, I watched Ronaldo, just the documentary on Cristiano Ronaldo, and he's doing the interview behind the scenes part, and he's like, people think that me and Messi hate each other, and he's like, we talk to each other all the time, and he's like, you want people like that in your life, He's like Ovi and Crosby. They talk to each other. Sure, they don't hate each other, but by Crosby doing good, it fuels Ovi to be like, damn it, he had 2 points. Stitch me up, Doc. I'm going to get 3 points. They.
Oh, Ovechkin, you got a hat trick? Well, I'm getting a hat trick in the same playoff game.
Yeah. Your move, Sydney.
That was one of the best playoff series I've seen.
Oh, it was amazing.
ever.
I remember that game. It was
Being a
just
Pittsburgh fan
insane.
helps, but
Yeah, for sure. But even just watching hockey, it's just fantastic. It was so good. So, to answer your question, no, I'm not one bit surprised either of these guys. Austin Matthews, his first game set the tone. Laine, he needed about 2 weeks, and I'm like, God damn it, he's really going to be good. I can't poop on him for that long. Dang it. And even now, I still
on
do.
Patrick's Lane for
We
so
haven't been pooping on Patrick's Lane. Come on. I do it at games, or while I'm texting Matt, or when I'm watching the game with Carey. But Carey gets real mad because he's like, dude, come on. That was an amazing goal. I'm like, average goal. I could score that. And he's like, you could not. I'm like, Adam Lowry was standing in front of the goalie. If Adam Lowry was standing in front of the goalie, I could score too. And he's like, no, you can't. I'm like, I could. Mm-hmm. Yes, I could. I can't at all.
yeah,
But-
you don't have a goal yet this year, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, in beer league I do not, but that's okay. It's okay. I'm a critic. It's okay. I'm a coach.
You don't have a goalie yet, Cam?
Not yet. We're 15 games in.
Do you want me to come out and just try to feed you for an entire
Oh,
game?
they've done it. They've
yeah.
tried.
I've been talking pre-games. That's what we have to do is
Guys,
Work on
please.
it.
Cameron's really walking with his tail in between his legs. We need some help, guys. And then when I get a wide open chance, I'm like, yeah, baby! And I just ring it off the post, or I hit the mesh. I just get so excited.
I think you need to go to the outdoor rink a little bit and just...
I know.
Shoot
That's
it's been too cold.
It has been. Mother Nature will
freezing.
not be helping us.
Or
All
it'll
right.
snow when it's actually...
Are we going to move on from All Star
We're
Game
moving on to All Star Game.
to the
AHL.
AHL Outdoor Classic in the rain?
Typhoon.
Who is playing? Bakerfield Condor
And Ontario Reign.
I forgot. It was downpour, to the point where when they're going, when you're playing street hockey in summertime, well, in Winnipeg summertime, when you go to rip the puck and you just see the ball go yes, or hit a puddle and stop. They were taking clappers and they're stopping a meter in front of them. How they scored, they would just be like, "Hey goalie," and they'd take a puddle of water and launch it at the goalie, and then they'd kick it in. It was the only way. It looked
terrible.
It did not look like fun, but at the same time, I don't think anybody that played in that game will ever forget it. Because it was just one of those moments.
I played an outdoor game in California. It was a typhoon. It was fun.
Let me tell you about this one time in California. We played outdoor hockey in the rain.
On ice.
And people paid to watch it. Like,
Whoa, who paid? I didn't see fans in that crowd. That voice reminds me of, like... Have you seen that South Park episode where he's, like, coaching the hockey team? Stan Marsh!
Stan Marsh! Came from... It's up against all odds.
So you guys did see the...
I saw a couple highlights and stuff, yeah.
Or the wet lights.
The low lights, the highlights. Slick.
Yeah, jeez.
I'll tweet.
But apparently the ice was still in good shape. It was just full of water. That was the only problem with it.
Well, with the ventilation stuff underneath, apparently they keep the ice fine even if it's pouring rain like that, which makes no sense to me. But
it's weird how they haven't visited Brooklyn yet this year to figure that one out.
Oh,
the New York Islanders ice is off.
Well, it's just there's a lot of issues there. I think it's just the ice plant in general sucks there.
Wasn't it Carolina that just didn't have ice and had to postpone a game a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, they didn't have ice.
Yeah, their ice was all screwed up, and they're like the playing conditions were too bad for them to play, so they had to postpone the game.
Ice plant was, but here's the thing: with outdoor games, they have more often than not. I don't know how the AHL works, but I know that other leagues, with the NHL, they have unlimited resources, so they can have the best plant, they can have the best, because they just have so much air to work in. But I think the problem with what happened in Brooklyn is the fact that with the Barclays Centers, everything was already pre-built, so putting an ice plant in after everything's already pre-built must have affected it somehow and made it have a negative impact. I don't know how true that is, because I don't know the installation of ice plants, I don't know how it all works, but that's just my best guess, is the fact that it was after market kind of thing that they had to do, after it was already finished building. Regardless, there was also supposed to be an outdoor game played in Boston for, I can't remember which two teams. It was a college outdoor game that actually had to be postponed as well. And it was played the next day, but it was because of inclement weather.
Oh, yeah, Boston University.
And Boston College, I believe, had to play each other.
Did they?
At Fenway. Oh. I think so. I could be wrong.
I know Boston, the Terriers played for sure. I just forget who they played. So it might have been, that would make sense that it was the other Boston.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, those types of outdoor games I'm fine with. I am totally fine if you're going to have pouring rain outdoor games. Don't care.
No, I didn't watch it. So
it was AHL, but yeah, I wasn't there. I didn't have to watch it. But I would love to see an outdoor game played in Las Vegas.
There wouldn't. The ice, the temperature there, no way.
They did it in Los Angeles. They can do
Dude,
it there.
You realize that it's a desert. It doesn't get warm. It's not warm all the time.
It's warm all the time.
No, at night it actually gets down to a pretty respectable temperature.
I've been there.
Oh yeah? Have you been to Vegas?
I have.
You've been to Las Vegas?
I said I've been to the desert. I didn't say which desert.
Oh, okay. Which desert, Cameron?
Tatooine. I own Star Wars. It's right here.
Wow, Wow. I'm just going to add Las Vegas weather right now, and I just want to see what it is.
Go ahead.
It is 15 degrees Celsius there right now.
Okay.
And that is basically what it was in LA.
Oh, so it's manageable?
It's very manageable.
Okay.
I would love to see an outdoor game in Las Vegas with the Golden Knights versus let's do the San Jose Sharks or the Arizona Coyotes. The Battle of the Desert.
There's no reason to do Arizona. No one's going.
No one's going to go regardless, but it's an outdoor game in Las Vegas.
Let them play the Jets. Everyone from Winnipeg will go for a weekend.
There we go. I like that idea. Next season, the NHL will be reducing its jerseys for every team down to only 2. There will be no alternates next season as Adidas integrates their new jerseys into the league, and Cam has some other information about
that. So the reason being is because just to make the integration a little easier for Adidas for the output, because clearly they're going to be mass producing these jerseys as is. They want to kind of make the transition as easy as possible. It's being talked about at the moment that 2 teams are actually fully changing their look. Now, one of the teams, these aren't confirmed names, but one of the teams in question that they want to allegedly change their colors is the Ottawa Senators, and with their Heritage Classic jersey and their current alternate jersey with the O. They want to make the black their home, the beige the away, which is great. I like when it's not plain Jane white. That's boring. Like, I'll use the CFL as the example. The Bombers, when they went gold away, those are the nicest jerseys ever because it's not white. Everyone wears white. It's so boring.
I love their new white jerseys.
And I like how AHL... Oh, yeah, no, now they have new ones.
AHL switch, no.
No, but I like what AHL does, and what I think NHL should do this too.
No,
it's cool.
they just changed the AHL to darks home, whites.
No, I know, but like halfway through the season, like at the start of the season, you wear whites. Second half, you wear blue, or like. And
is that a halfway thing they do every year?
Every year.
Oh, I thought they just were permanently going to that.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they switch it halfway every year, which is awesome though.
Yeah,
because
that's a good idea.
I like seeing like. I mean,
Different
let's be
colors
honest. When you're a team fan. Usually the first jersey you buy is the home one. Or the blue one, like the primary color. And so how cool would it be? It'd be awesome if I got to see Philly in Winnipeg and I got to actually match the team instead of matching the team anyways because they already own the jerseys. But irrelevant. It'd be cool to see them wearing orange. And another team that's actually, this isn't fully confirmed, but it's off of Chris Creamer, which is like the main leading like sports aesthetic looks and like jerseys. He's saying that Minnesota's going, their home is going to be green, getting rid of the red entirely. It's just going to be the green and the white.
Okay, so we have Ottawa as one team. What other team would you like to see completely overhauled?
Another team I know that they're getting, because you basically think about teams that are getting rid of alternates. Yeah. I know for a fact, this is the confirmed one. Chris Creamer had said, or whoever's running it, had said the Islanders are getting rid of their all-black alternate. They're going straight to the original, like the blue and the white. Yeah,
those black ones are nice.
Yeah.
Okay, what team would you like to see a complete overhaul of their jerseys?
Of their logos and everything?
Would like to redo everything from scratch.
Seriously? Which is hilarious. Ottawa. That Senators logo.
No, outside of Ottawa.
Oh, outside of, like, logo and everything? Like, just
everything.
a rebrand?
Because let's say Ottawa's one, you said there was rumored to be two. Who's the second one?
Who would I want the second one to be? Oh, man. I'm trying to think. I got to see the logos here.
That's what I was doing, too.
I'm going to throw two out there.
Yeah, if you have an idea, go ahead.
My first one would be the Anaheim Ducks. I'd love to see them go back to their old Mighty Ducks logo. Might be far-fetched, but it seems they're embracing that. I want to see them get rid of their disgusting orange jerseys. I want to see them go back to like the purple and the old style.
Like the retro purple and teal?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other team that I wouldn't mind seeing a complete overhaul would be the Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh, I was just looking at that too.
Man, I like that.
I don't mind their jerseys, but I wouldn't mind them redoing and trying to rebrand that team because they're entering a transition period where they've sucked for a lot of years now, and they're actually finally, I think they're going to be decent in the next couple of years, that it seems that whenever teams turn that corner, look at the Tampa Bay Lightning, they seem to they seem to ditch what was old and bring out new. Tampa Bay Lightning did it. New York Islanders went back to old. The Edmonton Oilers did it. Speaking of the Edmonton Oilers, they are also going to wear their orange for all of next season, and they're ditching the blue.
Oh, so there you go. So that's another big change.
No, it's not. Why do you take the ugliest jerseys in the league? You're like, we're going to wear these to make our statement. I hate them. Oh,
really?
The blue just looks so much better.
I have three teams off the top of my head that I would like to see a somewhat rebrand, hypothetically. You know what? I'll just name a few of them that I think. But Colorado.
Okay, yeah.
Just in terms of like the A could use an update or just use the foot. That'd be pretty sweet. Where'd the other one go? Sorry. Vancouver, I would go to the stick. Instead of the Orca C thing with writing. Not a fan of that. These are just personal opinions. Another one would be, the Devils. They haven't changed it forever. Great logo, but I don't know. But that's just me.
Go back to the red and green.
Buffalo, go to the retro. Get rid of the blue and the, keep the blue and the yellow. Get rid of your jersey layout. It's awful. That striping, the Edge 2.0 striping, go. And you know what's funny about the teams that I just named? They all use Edge 2.0 striping. Where when Reebok came in the league and everyone, Flames too, where they have that stupid stripe that has nothing to do with anything but just to show, this is streamlined. Buffalo has that. Calgary has that. Colorado has it. Jersey doesn't. I just don't this is being biased. Jersey's got a great logo, but it needs a tweak or something. It
needs something different.
There's nothing there. Although, another guy who I wish we were having a Young Guns type deal at the All Star Game, because Miles Wood, did you see his goal the other day when he got a breakaway? No. He had 37 miles an hour on the ice. They clipped him in at 37 miles an hour.
That's nuts.
Oh! And then he just stopped, not on a dime, on a loose leaf. He stopped on a sheet of paper.
But he didn't fall. Did he?
He didn't. He did not do that Mighty Ducks guy who can't stop and just bowls.
Well, or like Blake Wheeler will gain speed, stop, fall,
Yeah.
make a pass.
Oh,
anyways.
or the new thing that keeps happening. Who was it? Zach Hyman. Zach Hyman just got jumped by Shea Weber, got punched in the back because Sergei Yemelin stopped pushing people into Carey Price. Alexei Yemelin, sorry.
Okay.
Stop pushing people into Carey Price.
I did not want to talk about this.
I
did
didn't
not have it on my sheet.
No, this is me just like literally, I don't have it written down. Dude, that's a penalty on Emelin. They're not calling it. And then, I didn't know.
Then he gets a penalty for goalie interference.
Yeah. I didn't know.
The refing this year has been awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
It's bad.
Awful. I've never seen it this bad. And it's not just because, like, everything I've seen in Leafs games has been terrible. Every single NHL game I've been watching, there'll be a penalty. I'm like, oh, what are they calling there? Like, it is inconsistent, terrible, and I don't know what is a penalty and what's not anymore. It's almost as bad as the NFL. The NFL reffing has been brutal the last 3 years, and the NHL reffing this year has been awful, just awful. And that Hyman case is another one.
And it keeps happening. Where like Yemelin, however you say it, he keeps doing it, and he's getting away with it.
Well, he's getting away with it, and then the best thing is then everyone attacks the guy that ran into Price, but was pushed into Price, and then on top of it, then Price can punch people with his blocker and have no repercussions.
That's a penalty every time, right?
It's actually
not a penalty?
It's a penalty and it's potential suspension.
It's a suspension if he hits him in the head, which he never did with the blocker. That's why he started punching him in the ribs right after, because he thought about it as he was punching him in the head. He must have thought about it and was like, well, I'll just punch him in the ribs a couple times and hope he bleeds. Yeah. Pisses blood for a little bit.
Yeah.
A little ridiculous. But besides from that, we'll move on. Ruffs.
Oh, wait. Before we move on officially from Oilers and everything, thank you.
Talk about the Oilers.
Oh, you wanted to? Yeah. Well, good. Because officially, I'd like to thank the Edmonton Oilers for ruining another kid's chances at World Juniors. Jesse Puljujarvi got sent to the AHL. Okay. They did this last year.
2 years ago with Leon
Draisaitl, the juniors.
Because Germany had an actual okay team. And
Germany had a team there.
Yeah.
Let's say that first.
Yeah, and Draisaitl could have represented. It's almost like the Oilers have a thing. They're like, well, we want to... Like, I remember talking about it with you guys and saying they're planning on sending Puljujarvi down, but they don't want him to play in the World Juniors. Why not? He can maybe gain some fucking confidence and then bring it back.
Why would they want confidence in a top-tier player? How dare they?
Yes, he only has one goal this season. Has, I believe, like 12 points or something like that. Hasn't had an amazing rookie year. But maybe he's not like Patrik Laine or Austin Matthews and isn't NHL ready right now. Because look at the other guys behind him. Pierre-Luc Dubois, Olli Juolevi. They're not in the NHL. Sure, you could talk about Matthew Tkachuk having a pretty decent season so far. But it doesn't happen with every player. You don't need to just like rush players in, and then when they have an opportunity to represent their country for potentially the last time, you rob them of that opportunity. Like, I would be infuriated if I was Jesse right now. And I'm referring to him on a first-name basis because I feel like I can feel his pain. Because I would be pissed off if the team that I played for didn't let me go play for a championship and then, set me down. It's like almost like if Jack Roslovic was playing with the Jets all season, and then all of a sudden they're like, you know what? We're going to send you down in like mid-January, but you don't get to play for USA and be one of their best players. And speaking of World Junior Championships, they had a gold medal game between Canada and the United States.
Went to a shootout.
But probably was one of the best games before that that I had watched in a very long time.
It was one of the best games since...
One of the best things about it, though, was Canada went up 2-0 and 4-2. So they had two different two-goal leads. And USA fought back both times. And they never seemed out of it. And I loved USA's resilience. I really enjoyed this game from just an entertainment standpoint. It was a fun game to watch. It was a fun game to enjoy. So, it sucks that it came down to a shootout, but...
they should have just played another period. They should have looked at the game and been like, you know what? It's too good. Keep going.
So what's... But then it might have never stopped.
I don't care.
Me neither. I'm on your side. I'm trying to be devil's advocate. I can't. Do you think I want the greatest tournament in my mind to end on a shootout?
No. I was playing devil's advocate the last time, so...
No, I don't understand why the shootout is something that people thought it was a good idea
Okay,
to
internationally, I understand.
to solve games,
Well, okay.
to decide games. Because you know what the shootout was?
Time constraints, injuries.
I understand the shootout when I'm in practice and I'm playing around and we're trying to test things out, working on a goalie for breakaways. But for me, I don't think it should come down to that. It's the same with soccer. I don't fucking care if a soccer game is going to take another 30 days. Let it play out. If it's going to take that long for someone to score, maybe it's your sport that's the problem, or the way that it's played. And it's not actually... Eventually, guys are going to get tired. Eventually, something's going to go on. There's so much more excitement in a 4 OT game than there is in a shootout game. I'd rather see a game go longer than be played in a
skills
shootout.
competition.
It is.
I don't know if it was one of my... Was it you saying, would you want an NBA game ending in a dunk contest?
Or a 3-point contest,
It was not me that.
where if you have Steph Curry, it just goes in every time. Or, what somebody suggested, I think it was Russell Wilson, is we should just have a field goal kickoff in the NFL. No, you shouldn't. No, you fucking shouldn't, because half these guys can't make those field goals, especially Blair Walsh from 15 yards out.
I was about to say, as a Minnesota Vikings fan, I do not condone this kicking competition.
They can do that, but your kicker's not allowed to go.
No. You start with your O lineman, and then your D line, and then everyone else. No, it goes off weight, heaviest guy.
So you work that hard. You work that hard all season, or just in this case, all tournament. As a team, you're told to be a team, work together as a team, and it comes down to a bloody fucking skills competition.
You fought so hard, it took so long, but in the end,
it doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't.
But the thing is I'm not mad because Canada lost. I'm mad because I don't think the shootout should be a thing in hockey.
We were robbed of a sweet, okay.
If it's a 20-minute period back to back to back to back, and we have like a 6-period game, it could go down as one of the best hockey games ever.
Who won the World Juniors in 2007?
Canada.
Yeah, and how did they win again?
In overtime?
Yeah, who got that goal? Do you remember who got that goal?
Oh,
No.
I think I know this one.
Go. No, I'm not trying to quiz you. I'm just saying.
Is he next NHL?
Steve Downey?
Is he next Jet?
Yeah.
It's Matt Hallis.
No, but but you still remember that it was a goal in overtime. Yeah, I'm gonna remember that they lost in a shootout. I can't tell you who shot in the shootout, and it was a week. It was less than a week ago. I can't tell you for Canada who shot. Maybe I can, but I'm
Dubois,
saying
Strome.
Dubois.
No, was it Dubois?
Dubois didn't go.
Dubois didn't go. Okay.
It was Barzell. It was Strome Barzell.
Dubé.
Sorelli went somewhere.
Sorelli, and then Waugh.
Waugh was the end. I don't know who.
See,
was
no,
in the
either.
middle there.
That's madness. You remember Matt Hallis, Chuck, and that was almost 10 years ago. I remember Hal winning. It was against Finland, I think. Who was it against? There was a crash and bang at the net, and then he just lifted his arms and just, holy shit! And then everyone just piled on him to Matt Hallis, they score! They want to go, Matt! I want that memory. I don't care about shootout. The only thing I'm going to remember about that is because I was wearing my USA shirt underneath my Canada hoodie, and when overtime started, I went around the corner and took my Canada hoodie off. And I walked back around the corner. It was wearing my America stuff. And people didn't like that. Actually, I did this in the third period, to be honest. When U.S. tied it. Just to piss people off. Because I like both of those. But yeah, it came down to a skills competition. And Jonathan Taves 2.0, a.k.a. Troy, or TJ Oshie 2.0, Troy Terry, who did previously, that's how USA got a gold medal. They did a shootout against Russia. And Troy Terry went 3 times and scored 3 goddamn times.
All 5-hole.
All 5-hole.
He did not shoot anywhere but 5-hole in every shootout.
Coming down on Carter Hart, and he literally, his quote was like, I saw 5-hole last second. He's like, I wasn't planning on going there. And I'm like, fuck you, Troy Terry. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not mad at Troy Terry. I have
some
nothing
of these
against
kids have in their lives. It'll be the peak of their hockey careers. I'm not trying to say anything to them. Why is it ending in a shootout? Why?
Yeah.
How entertaining was last year's overtime between Russia and Finland in that final?
Russia beat Sweden this year.
Yeah.
In the allotted time of overtime, which is bullshit, but whatever.
Yeah.
And it ended because of a cop. Who was it? Nylander coughed it. Nylander coughed it up to Dahlin, a 16-year-old kid who wasn't expecting the pass. And then there's Alex Gurianov, player of the tournament for Russia. He's just like, come on, move! And he literally didn't even shoot it. He was just trying to get a face-off. Dumped it at the goalie, and the goalie just bobbled it right through his legs. Yeah. Goal. I remember those. I can remember that so vividly. I can see it. And yet I can't even see Troy Terry scoring. I just remember the fuck! Like, I remember people screaming or swearing, I'm sorry. But,
Going, how do you not know he's going 5-0?
well, no, but
Yo,
it
what? Pay attention. It shouldn't come down to
no, it shouldn't. Like, that... Oh,
It's the same thing in the NHL.
In the medal rounds, get rid of it in AHF. Medal rounds, playoff rounds,
Overtime.
continuous OT. Continuous OT. But... What I texted Matt about this. Like, obviously, AHF, they're young kids. The longer you play, the more you are prone to getting injured.
I understand that.
You're rolling your eyes. I understand. It's as a fan, it sucks. But at least, and then I suggested I didn't play hockey. Did you guys play in the Golden Boy tournament?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
I
well,
played in tournaments like the
okay.
one that overtime you
Well,
told me.
what I
Yeah,
was
the
leading
overtime
into
where
was
it's 5-on-5,
5-on-5.
4-on-4, 3-on-3, 2-on-2, 1-on-1.
One-on-one
without a goalie.
Can we do that? Can we do that?
I remember playing in a Christmas tournament. I think I was 11 years old, either 10 or 11, and we get into overtime. It's for I think the bronze. It was either bronze. I think it was a bronze medal game, and we do the 5-on-5, and I don't get picked. And then we do the 4-on-4, and I don't get picked. Then we do 3-on-3. I get picked. I'm like, sweet.
Oh, Greg was
So
about to break his stick on that.
I do the 3-on-3. Still no one scores. I'm off the bench like, just suck and wind. 2-on-2 comes. 1-on-1. Greg, you want to go? I
believe in the power of that
remember
love.
like taking the draw, looking at the guy. We're playing at Silverstone Arena, and I just remember taking the draw. against the
Anything you
guy.
know about Silverstone? Very small arena.
Very small.
arena. Very
But-
cold, from what I remember.
I'm lined up to this guy, and I'm still tired. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do. He wins the draw, and I just try to play like the most defensive game I can think of until I get an opportunity. And it was just
What's defense on one-on-one? Don't let him get past you?
don't let him get past you. And it was definitely hitting. So it was 11. It was definitely hitting because I remember like just rubbing him out a few times, him trying to go wide, and me just like pushing him closer to the boards. I was so tired that I didn't even see us win the game. I could you know what? When you win, everyone throws their
How do
gloves
you
in the air.
line change?
You don't. It was 2 minutes straight.
Yeah.
It's 2 minutes straight of what we did.
Oh, no.
So I was on one-on-one for 2 straight minutes. And all I remember
And then
is
who did
getting to the
one-on-one,
bench.
no goalie?
I didn't do it. Somebody else on my team did. And I just remember on the bench, my head's like looking down, and my entire team starts cheering. I'm like, hey, 3-1. I like look
Greg
up
got a
and
concussion.
everything.
Greg got a concussion. Self-induced concussion from exhaustion.
It was awful, but it was still like that's 15
You didn't
years ago.
see your team win, though.
But regardless, it's 15 years ago,
Yeah.
and I still remember it. You don't forget these things. And sure, for Terry, he'll remember scoring those shootout goals for the rest of his life.
Will he, though?
And Hart will always remember that goalie let in.
Exactly, but
No, and see, that's another thing. That's crap. Like, I don't like that because, like, no, I understand.
I'm not
like,
blaming
I'm
him
not
at all.
blaming Hart at all,
No.
but that's in his head forever.
That could
Forever.
ruin a goalie.
And guess what? How many people, away fans, I'll include myself in this. If I see Carter Hart and I'm a Wheat Kings fan and it's playoffs, I'm just going to bring a sign. Maybe it'll go to shootout. ... Other side, he's good at those. Like, how many douchebags are going to make those signs? Everyone. That's it. Maybe not everyone, but at least one person. If I thought of it, for sure another person has.
and then it comes to the question of, and it gets brought up all the time, should they take the shootout out of NHL? Yes, they should. 3-on-3 has solved pretty much everything. Make the games go 3-on-3 until the game's over. Because statistics show it probably won't last longer than 10 minutes. It probably won't, because it is that insane and that much open ice.
Because, here, let's
Then
just
do
say-
it in international. Do the 4-on-4 in international. I don't care. If you're worried about time allotment, more likely than not, it'll end within the 20 minutes. If
Yeah,
it's
4-on-4, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
3-on-3, 20 minutes.
God, that would be hard. But that's what I'm saying. Is there?
Could you imagine being Thomas Chabot? Because you know you're going out every second shift.
Well,
doing that.
Exactly.
Thomas Chabot, he actually, since they brought this tournament MVP medal in,
Yeah.
Thomas Chabot won it, first defenseman ever to win it. Ever.
Well,
Crazy.
He's the only defenseman who had a point in every game.
And he played unbelievable and played like 40 minutes against Czech Republic in a game that it looked like Canada was going to lose. And he's just like, nope, let's go, guys. Just pulls
was-
everybody on his back.
Was
He's like,
that-
we're taking
was
this
that-
train to the gold medal.
okay. That was after, because Philip Myers went out with a concussion from Luke Kunin, the captain of USA there. And, like, they were a pretty good pairing. And then they're like, he's like, they whispered in Thomas's ear, they're like, Philip's out for the tournament. And he's like, Screams internally. Who do I have next? K.O. Clegg. Hey, Thomas, let's do this. You get one of the youngest guys on the team. He'll be back next year. I love K.O. Clegg. He's a weak king, so I'm not trying to shit on anyone, but he's like, let's do this, buddy. Thomas Chabot's
Apparently, he's also Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Thomas Chabot's like, all right, Kale. Screams internally again.
They just show the behind the scenes, and all it is subtitles, screams internally, and he's just got stone face, just like
K.O. Clegg, hands him. He's like, oh, you look parched. Here's some water. Thanks, Kale. Screams internally. That's what he does.
It reminds me of that Dragon Ball Z bridge. Have you seen the one where Bulma's hitting on Trunks?
So yes, we're. I think we're all on the same page about the gold medal game.
Yep.
Some quick notes, obviously, before we get to our midseason NHL awards.
Yeah. 11 million Canadians watch this. That's a third of Canada. Watch this game. And a third of Canada
watch 19-year-olds and under play for their country. You talk about hockey not being our national pastime. It is.
I know I've asked this before. I know the NCAA Frozen Four is kind of big, but you don't understand how big the World Juniors are. The World Juniors is my Christmas present every year.
Yeah, mine too.
Seriously, I like Christmas, but when December 26th rolls around, I'm not leaving. I ain't leaving.
And you want to know determination? Cam and I went over to our friend Tyler's house at 4 a.m. on Boxing Day morning to go watch a game.
Yeah.
You don't do that in any other country.
Multiple times.
Oh, yeah, multiple times. But the fact that Christmas for him ended probably around midnight, and he was up at 4 a.m. to watch the game with us, and then his parents made us breakfast.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And we did it multiple. No, and wherever the tournament is, literally, they released a schedule in July, and I'm like, all right, where is it? Leksand, Sweden, carry the one, follow. All right, 7 hours ahead of us. Okay, it'll be in the morning. And then, I remember when it was in Finland or wherever it was, at 4 a.m. or wherever the hell it was, we were like, oh, it's at 4 a.m. And it's literally those games are all right, do I stay up?
Or do I go to bed?
Or do I do a cat nap? And I remember, one game, we hung out, we watched the game, and then we went skating, and then we were hanging out at his house, and then it was around 9, we're like, guys, let's pack it in, big game tomorrow, 3 in the morning. All right, we'll be back in 6 hours, 7 hours, whatever, we'll be back. And we were literally back at 2:45 puck drop. One time, Greg came in my driveway, left, and I called him, as he was pulling in Tyler's driveway, I'm like, I'm up, come get me. I don't want to miss puck drop, come get me. And he came back and got me, and then we ran in and didn't miss face-off. We just saw it as we came down the stairs. Yeah, we love hockey. All right.
Some quick things before we get to midseason NHL awards. Ovechkin ties Maurice Rocket Richard in goals. The guy whose the trophy is named after.
Montreal.
Yeah.
Which I liked.
And this is who the trophy is named after. Mm-hmm. So this is Ovechkin tying him. Blue Jackets' streak ended at 16 by a 5-0 shelling of the Capitals. Then they proceeded to lose the following night, and then finally won on Sunday.
Against the Flyers.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Flyers and Jets are... Flyers are the Jets of the East. The Jets are the Flyers of the West.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, buddy, you need a rebound? Right here, bud. Right here.
Okay. So one of the people I follow on Twitter is, oh my god, it's Domi. I definitely, if you are into advanced analytics, into hockey in general, follow him. He is awesome. So these are his power rankings along with playoff probabilities as of January 4th. So he'll be coming out with another one in a week, so it'll be January 11th when the next one is. So this is obviously before I believe Columbus lost. So Pittsburgh Penguins at the top, they have a 100% chance of making playoffs. Washington Capitals 97%, and then go down the list. Let's go to the Jets.
Who's still in the playoffs but has a worse chance?
That's who I'm getting to.
Okay.
So Tampa Bay Lightning are in 13th in the NHL, or no, in power rankings, and they have a 40% chance. The Jets have a 34% chance of playoffs. The shocking thing, and this is all. These playoff chances they're done from point projections, they're done from advanced stats, from kind of the team this year and what those players have done in the past as well down the stretch. That's how this model is incorporated. One of the surprises is Toronto's at a 62%. Another surprise, a team that was currently in a playoff spot at the time, was the Florida Panthers. They're at 45%. Calgary Flames, who are a little bit further down in the power rankings, 20th at the time of this being released, was 58%. Anaheim Ducks at 78%. Blues at 79%, and Rangers at 87%, along with the Edmonton Oilers at 78%. And do you want to know where the Flyers are at, Cam?
You go ahead.
A whopping 54%.
Can they? don't like this.
That was a
They're
lot of numbers.
always no, but I keep up with them
Yeah.
too. It's Flyers from here on out. They're going to be like they'll hit a mini win streak and they'll be like 70% chance. Just kidding. Time for a 5-game losing streak. Okay, we're at 41. Oh no, playoffs are like a week away. Let's go. They never give me stability ever. It's like the crazy ex-girlfriend that just won't go away. Not relatable. Never had a girlfriend, but I heard it's relatable. So I'm going to use relatable subjects.
Very relatable. Okay. So there's that. So that was playoffs, Richard. What are you looking at?
No, I'm just trying to figure. I'm picking.
And final thing before we get into Patrick's parade, it's the midseason point very soon for the NHL, so I thought we'd do midseason NHL awards.
Okay.
So we're going to do the MVP, the rookie, the goalie, and the coach. So
Let's do rookie first. It's a 2-horse race. Come on now.
I think the race is over because of this injury.
Okay, so
let's just pick. Who do you want, Matt?
Well,
who do you want?
Who do you think? Injuries aside, at the end of the year, we're looking at who winning the Calder.
Fine. Let's put it this way: if Laine comes back in a week,
So he misses 4 games.
yeah.
I think it's a tough race. I think you know what? It's Toronto media. Matthews is going to get it either way. It doesn't matter. Matthews
Okay,
could have
come
had
on
one
now.
goal here,
Come
and they'd be
on
like,
now.
"Look at how good he is."
They're good and they're bad for him at the same time. Regardless,
So you want Laine?
I want Laine to win because I'm a Jets fan.
'Kay.
And I think he's had a very good year, and there's arguments to be made for both guys, but they're going to give it to Matthews because he's run.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to be the outlier in this because I know where you're going. So I think I know where you're going. I'm going to say if we're basing it off value to your team, Zach Werenski.
see, that's
Okay,
where I
fine.
was going.
Fine, if you're going there, I'll take Austin
No.
Matthews.
No. I was going to go with value to team.
Okay,
That's where I was going.
Well, still, Laine still.
Exactly.
You know?
The thing is I think rookie is a player that comes in and change. Like Calder should go to a player that comes in and changes that team the second he comes in. Laine changed Winnipeg into a team that was
An offensive threat.
an offensive threat all the time when he's on the ice. Werenski changed the Blue Jackets into probably scary on defense. Like he has molded once the Blue Jackets kind of start growing up together a little bit more, they might have one of the strongest defensive
Well,
cores
you look
in a
at
couple of
Ryan
years.
Murray's now in the third pairing.
Exactly. Former second overall pick.
Second overall pick, and he was He was on the second unit and on Team North America.
Yeah. Very good defenseman. Very good defenseman. But yeah, so I think, and then you got to look at Austin Matthews. He's come in and offered stability at the center position. And then I think the other guy we have to mention is Mitch Marner, who night after night is a human fucking highlight reel
You can
with
also
his
talk about Kachuk.
and Kachuk. I think I think Marner and Kachuk are the less of the three. Yeah. I think it is a 2-horse race between Matthews and Laine. But overall, if you want to talk about guys who changed their teams, those 5 have changed their teams. Unbelievable. I have to go with Matthews because he's second in rookie scoring right now with games in hand, and the guy that he's chasing is hurt. And just the things he's done already, and the fact that it's Toronto media.
Okay, we'll go to goalie then.
Vesna.
You got Vesna?
Dubnik's the easy winner
Easy.
in my mind. His goals against are the lowest, his save percentage is the best. How do you not pick him? He's having a Carey Price year.
Yeah.
He is.
He's playing
Okay, good.
unbelievable.
Dubnik was a guy I was going to go with based off stats. But if, again, I'll just base it value to team, but it's more stats for goalies. I was going to say Bobrovsky.
Bobrovsky, yeah.
But, there's... Dubnik should probably, even if he doesn't win, at least announce that he was a very close team. Please. It's not right. That ain't right.
No.
It's funny that everyone's saying that Dubnik is Carey Price, but I just think Dubnik's playing otherworldly, kind of like what Carey Price is doing. Doesn't mean he's playing to a standard. That's just how good Dubnik can be. I think the goalie that's got it right now, and it'll prove it if this team makes the playoffs, is Tuukka Rask.
Okay.
That team will get carried by him into the playoffs, and he'll drag them himself if he needs to. If they don't make the playoffs, he won't win it, but I think as of right now, they're in a spot. I think he deserves it.
Do awards, do they hinge on making playoffs?
They don't,
They
but
don't,
I think...
But there can be a factor in it. Some guys do put that factor into it.
You're telling me if... Braden Holtby played great last year, but you're telling me... All right, he didn't even win. Carey Price won it. No, Carey Price didn't win. He was hurt all year. So Holtby won Vezina last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So you're telling me that team is still, that team loses a few extra games. I don't even know if he gets as concerned. He was great, but I think that record definitely helped him out with
Oh
him.
yeah, okay. So
what
like
I'm trying to say.
it factors into it.
I think it factors in for some voters because some guys don't. I don't think. Now this could be the most wrong comment I ever make on this podcast, but I don't think some of the guys who vote are as super fanatics as people like us who do the podcast, who look at everything, watch a lot more games than some of these guys
They never
do.
look at anything in the West because they're Toronto media and it's too late for them to stay up.
Come on.
It's a true fact.
No,
They've
they're
said
not
it before.
all-
No, they've said it before
Of
that
the
certain
20
guys don't watch
It's
Western
25
Conference.
media members, and I think the last time they did the check on it, 13 of them were from Toronto.
So
that's
that means
over
half of
Yeah, but half of them don't watch the West. Like, and I've
Yeah.
like
The
heard
stronger
like
half.
yeah,
doesn't
and I've
show- okay.
heard. I don't know who was talking about it, but that they just don't watch the Western Conference enough, and that's why Drew Doughty had never won it up until last year, and that's why he finally won it because everyone's like, well, Doughty's good, so he deserves one. And that's why Carlson didn't get it last year, even being a point a game.
Are there Canuck fans in Prince Edward Island that actually watch the games? Get back
Probably.
to me if you even got this far in the
think-
podcast and you know, please message me.
I think if you're a
Can.
fan of a team, you're going to find ways to watch their games. Even if I'm not able to watch a Toronto Maple Leafs game and it's on TV, I'm recording it and watching it later. Even if I know the score, I still want to watch the game. Even if I fast forward through some parts. But
Yeah.
I think that's huge. Who's your coach of the year?
This sounds super biased again and like a clean sweep. Tortorella has to be in the conversation, so I'm taking Tortorella. Like he turned that team from come on.
Yeah,
But go
no.
ahead. Who's your coach?
You know what? There's two guys on here, and it's Torts, obviously, and Guy Boucher has totally turned around the Ottawa Senators.
Oh man.
Kibusha.
Like he has turned them into a defensive, reliable team that can play defensively.
You got Carlson playing defense.
Exactly.
Weird.
Can you imagine what him and Shabbat together in a couple of years?
No, I know. You know what? I love how every so often you're like, oh, that team's garbage. Right now it's Canucks. But then suddenly they'll have a prospect. You're like, oh no, gonna have to deal with this for a while. And that's Shabbat and Erik Karlsson
Together.
Hey, who's your coach?
I don't think you can. I think if they make playoffs,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very hard to not give it to Mike Babcock.
Okay.
That one. Yeah, those are
Okay,
probably the
that's
three
it.
guys.
Yeah. three good guys.
Exactly. And I think Torts deserves it. I think Boucher deserves it. And it's crazy that this is the conversation we can have is three teams that weren't in the playoffs last year and were nowhere near it are now turned around and look like they're in positive directions. And it's all because of coaching changes. Even though we did make fun of the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Tortorella pick, but it seems to be working. Most valuable player.
Crosby. It's always Crosby.
Damn
It's
it.
gonna be.
I wrote Crosby too.
He's
You have someone else.
still unreal.
Do you have someone else, or is it Crosby?
Who'd
You have in your head. Who'd you want to say?
I want to say Matthews.
Ah, come on.
No,
I mean, oh yeah, I'm not against it. You know what?
it's
okay.
valued.
Part
and
of
like
my okay.
Crosby is so. It's
So
it's
good.
Crosby or McDavid. It's Crosby or McDavid.
It's another two-horse race.
I don't like McDavid right now, so I'm against McDavid. Being a Flyers fan,
but
Brandon Manning did not mean to do that.
But how
No way.
funny is it that the year that everyone we talked about on this podcast, I know you and I talked about it in Cleveland and everything like that. How we talked about it would be Connor McDavid's year to take over the NHL.
We did.
And when we started talking about that, Crosby listened. He's like, no. Still my fucking NHL kid.
Actually, we have on this podcast. You were there. We've attributed Crosby's tear to. They're like, hey Crosby, this Patrik guy's leading the league in goals. Oh, Kane? No, Laine. The fuck? From that point on, he has never looked back. He's had his car in gear 5, and he's not letting go. He's on the Autobahn. He's taking corners going 140. He's like,
The car is literally skipping
he's
like it
driving
does in
on
Mario
rims
Kart.
at this point, and he's like, I'm still good. You got something. I think that's how my mind works. Everything's a video game or something.
Do you want to know what happened tonight to the Philadelphia Flyers?
Yeah, no, they lost to the Buffalo Sabres. I know.
Okay, so currently McDavid
Great draft this year.
McDavid is currently 4 points up on Crosby. He has 48 points in 42 games.
With extra goals
But
played.
Crosby has 44 points in 33 games.
How many goals?
26.
Oh, he slowed down though. Because remember
His
when
goal
we
scoring
announced
is-
25?
Yeah, he is low down a bit.
Because he was on pace for
But he's
50
still getting
goals
like
in
2
like
assists
60.
a game again. So
Yeah.
The top 3 in the league are Crosby, Carter, and then Laine and Matthews tied.
Who's the other guy?
And Tarasenko rounds out the top 5.
Okay.
With Cam Atkinson up there. My favorite thing about the Score app is you have everybody is in their jerseys with their team, except for Matthews. It's a picture of him at the draft table.
So bad.
Like everyone else is in their team jerseys, and you just have a picture of like Matthews like looking in a suit to the left. It's pretty funny. Okay, so Patrick's parade. Speaking of knowing Patrick, he returned with the Brandon Wheat Kings this week. He will be
Still the
returning.
number one overall.
Still the
draft
number
choice.
one draft choice.
Nico Hischier looking good.
There's some guys that definitely like. I think Liljegren, if he had played, I think he'd be number one because obviously he got hurt, so he wasn't able to play. But I think some guys definitely moved up the draft rankings.
Nico Hischier, 100%.
Yeah.
The Danish guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was amazing. He looks.
Could you imagine?
He looks like kind of like an Ehlers, like just gets low to the ice and just kind of skates around with the puck, and it's his.
So fluid and smooth.
Yeah.
Learned how to
exactly.
play the European game, but is taking like aspects of the North American game and applying it to his game, which is what Ehlers does.
And
So
what team does he play for?
I don't know.
No idea.
Speaking of the
He plays for
OHL,
Halifax.
it is Windsor is getting geared up. They just got Jeremy Bracco, and they are
Did
getting
you see that trade?
no.
Okay. Well, I don't want to keep this going. I'll name the trade that got him there.
But
Well,
like Windsor, they're
okay. Well, let's
gearing
just
up.
name players who got traded right off the hop. Anthony Cirelli got traded.
Traded.
Actually, you know what? I have it in front of me. I'll just-
Okay. You
I
just
don't
do
want
it.
to. I don't want to.
Patrick's
do it.
Parade, bottom 5 teams in the
You
league
go.
right now. Buffalo number 5, Detroit number 4, New York Islanders number 3, Arizona Coyotes number 2, and Colorado Avalanche number 1. They are the worst team as of before tonight actually happened. The thing about Detroit, they went out and signed Franz Nielsen. The thing about the Islanders, they went out and signed Andrew Ladd. The thing about Arizona is they got Patrick Pavlidasu's rights, so they actually belong there.
Bad signings is we've started this one.
Yes.
It might even be changed to bad signings is what.
It's just what it is. Arizona's there
Stay
because
away from free agency is what
Yeah.
this should be called.
Arizona's there just because of their fact of they're gearing up for a good future ahead of them. So
All right. So you
quick news is I think Curtis McElhinney got claimed by the Leafs today.
He did.
He did.
Okay, yeah. Because they don't have any faith in any of the backups.
So Jeremy Bracco, who tore up the World Juniors,
Leafs prospect, by
he
the
used
way.
to play for the Rangers. He got traded.
Kitchener Rangers
Got traded to the Windsor Spitfires, host
of this
Memorial
year's
Cup.
Memorial Cup.
They also have Jets prospect Logan Stanley,
Yeah.
and Montreal prospect
Joe
Mikhail,
Sergachev.
who had an awful tournament.
He was
Oh,
terrible.
But still, that is gross.
Then they have many other players who we just aren't aware of. So Jeremy Bracco got traded there for a defenseman, a forward, and second-round picks. Now, what year would these second-round picks fall in there, Matt? This is kind of silly.
2021, 2022, and 2023?
2023, 2024, 2025. They're all conditional on that the world's still around, I think. Has to be. Who does that? That's
You
madness.
can do it in NHL. I know you can.
I guess. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then the Oshawa Generals sent Anthony Cirelli to the Erie Otters, so he got traded for Taylor no, he's now with Taylor Radish, Dylan Strome, Alex DeBrincat, and there's another the whole team's talented.
Oh, by the way, I will revoke my comment about USA not picking DeBrincat, because clearly they won without him. So I said I would eat my own words if they won without DeBrincat, and I will. Clearly they didn't need him.
Here's
Yeah.
a piece of paper. You can write them down.
Yeah, and then German Rubtsov, the Flyers' first-round pick last year. He is now officially a Chicoutimi Saganin. He got out of his KHL contract. So while the World Juniors are going on, Paul Holmgren for sure went to Russia. No two ways around it. 1,000% Paul Holmgren went to Russia. Definitely.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. So you want to close this up?
That's it. We thank you very much for listening. You can always find us on Twitter at LastManInPC. You can always watch us on YouTube. Type in Last Man in Podcast. We're
Watch
there.
a picture with letters
Yeah,
on it.
exactly.
That's what I do.
It's very enjoyable. It's sometimes the way I like to go to bed at night is just to listen to their
Your own
voices.
voice,
No,
yeah.
their voices when I'm not on it.
Oh,
I like
last
pin.
week.
I made my own private playlist with like just the ones I'm not in. I'm totally kidding. That doesn't happen. I might do that actually.
Although
That
you
would be-
could.
Yeah. You can check us out there. You can get You can get Last Man in Podcast wherever you get podcasts, whether it is on iTunes, whether it is on the podcast app that you have on your phone, Google Play, whatever it might be. We are there. You'll find us. We don't have a picture on some of them yet, though. Other than that, you can always email the show if you have questions or comment on YouTube. The email is lastmaninpc@gmail.com. And that's all I have to say.
Perfect.
Was there nothing? There was no beef in the deli?
There was beef. Do you want me to read the beef?
No, it's okay.
All right, next
We'll
time
get
we'll
to-
open with the beef.
We'll open with beef.
Open with beef.